Today's lesson is Chapter 5, Lesson 9, Dividing Fractions. The first thing we're going to start out with dividing fractions. Actually, the problem that we're going to be able to solve by the end of this lesson is 5/8 divided by 1/2. That's what we're going to be able to do by the end of this lesson. So let's start at the beginning. We're going to figure out how to divide. You will know how to do that by the time you're done with this lesson. I just rambled for 30 seconds without teaching you anything. Sorry for wasting the last 30 seconds of your life. The next 3 minutes will be the most valuable moments of your entire life. So, first thing you need to know is reciprocal. We need to know what a reciprocal is for this lesson. A reciprocal are two numbers you multiply together to get 1. So, think about it like this. If we have the number 1/5, what do we multiply 1/5 by to get 1? Well, think about fractions. They're split into 5 pieces, right? And you only have one of them. Well, you need 5 of those in order to get 1. So you'd have to multiply that by 5 to get 1. And remember, 5 as a fraction is like that, because guess what? You could do this and then give you 1. So the reciprocal of 1/5 is 5. And now, by the opposite way, 5 times what would equal 1? Well, 5 times 1/5 would equal 1. So because you can multiply them by each other to get 1, they are reciprocals. Another way you can look at it is reciprocals, based on our understanding of canceling out in fractions and multiplication. Reciprocals, 1/5, all you do to get the reciprocal is flip the top and the bottom to get the reciprocal. So the reciprocal would be 5/1. The reason that is because since we can cross out diagonally, the 1's already done, the 5's would be able to cross out, so you know it would be 1. So let's take a look at another one here. If we were taking a look at, let's say, 2/5. 2/5 times what would equal 1? Well, we could flip them over and we would get 5/2. And then look, you cross out your 5's, cross out your 2's, and you would get 1. So any reciprocal any fraction reciprocal is just flipped over. So for example, 1/3, that's reciprocal is going to be 3. Because we would flip it over and be 3/1, which is just 3. Let's take 2/5. The reciprocal would be 5/2, like we said. So the mixed number would be 2.5. So the reciprocal of 2/5 is 2.5. So let's say if we needed to find the reciprocal of, say, 1 2/3, well, we would put it improper, so it would be 5/3. And so its reciprocal would be 3/5. Hopefully we have that down. So the reason that we need to know that, and we're going to take the fraction 1/3, for example, its reciprocal is 3. Let's do a little experiment here. Let's take 6 and let's divide it by 3. Our answer is going to be 2, correct? Yes, it is correct. Now watch, if we do the opposite to the reciprocal, say let's do 6 times the reciprocal of 3, 6 times 1/3. Guess what? We would still get 2. So the cool thing is, and this is exactly how we're going to use this in this lesson. If we have a problem like, for example, 5 divided by 1/3. Well, what we just figured out is anything divided by 1/3, that means the same thing as times its reciprocal, which would be times 3. So what we can do is we can change the second one. What we do, so 5 divided by 1/3, that means it's the same as 5 times 3. So all we have to do here is we flip the number. Instead of dividing by the number, we take it times its reciprocal. We're going to switch it, and then we're going to flip it. And that's all there is. And now we can take 5 times 3/1. Well, that's 5 times 3, and we would get 15. So that's how we're going to go about solving these division problems. And I'm going to make this a little easier on you by just giving you the rules now. So I'm going to keep it real easy. Our rules are keep, switch, and flip. And I'm going to show you how that works. Say we do 2 divided by 2/3. All we're going to do is we are going to keep the 2. We are going to switch the sign. We're going to change that from division to multiplication. Remember that dot means multiplication. So we kept it, we switched it, now we're going to flip the last number. We're going to flip it. So it's going to be, instead of 2/3, it's going to be 3/2. And then we solve. And we know how to do 2 times 3/2. We're going to cross out, and our answer would be 3/1, which is 3. So our rule is keep, switch, and flip. Let's try one more like that. Let's say if we did 1/3 divided by, let's say, 2/3. So all we're going to do is we are going to keep 1/3. We're going to switch the sign. We're going to make that multiplication. We're going to flip. So that's going to be 3/2. And our answer is then going to be 1/2. Okay? Not so difficult, is it? Keep, switch, flip. So basically all we're doing is we're making it into a multiplication problem, and we already know how to do those. So the last thing I want to show you how to do is what if we did this? 1/3 divided by, let's say, 3. Well, what's the reciprocal of 3? Let's see. We're going to keep, we're going to switch, and then we're going to flip 3. 3 is going to switch to, well, because it's 3/1, we're going to switch it. It's going to become 1/3. So then our answer would be 1/9. Okay, I'm going to have you try one here quick. Remember, keep, switch, and flip. So let's do 5/7 divided by 2/5. Pause and solve. Okay, so we're going to keep this, we're going to switch this, and we're going to flip. So this is going to become 5/2 instead. So I'm going to rewrite that here. There's nothing that I can do right there that will cancel it out. So it'd be 25/14, which then becomes 1 and 11/14. Cool beans. Okay, the last thing that you might need to know how to do is what if you have mixed numbers? You basically still do the same thing. Let's do 1 3/4 divided by 2 1/3. So all we're going to do is the same as we would normally do for multiplication. Well, I'm sorry. First thing we're going to do is we're going to keep, switch, and flip. Now, we don't have anything to flip here yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to make this into an improper fraction. And so it's going to be 7/3. And what that's going to mean is we already kept this one over here. We already switched it, and now we're going to have to flip this, so it's going to be 3/7. So it's a multiplication problem. Now, remember, for this multiplication problem, we're also going to have to change this one. So 1 3/4 becomes 7/4. And then what we can do is we can cross out these 7s, and our answer is going to be 3/4. Okay, I'm going to have you try one more problem here. and we'll do one more together. Actually, this is the problem that we were able to do. I told you we'd be able to solve this by the end, so let's solve it. 5/8 divided by 1/2. Pause and solve. Okay, so keep, switch, and flip. Keep 5/8, switch this to multiplication, and flip. We're going to flip that and make it 2/1. Now we could either get 10/8 or we could just cross out here. Divide them both by 2, and we would get 4 here. We would end up with 5/4, which is 1 1/4. So there you have it. Solve the problem we set out to solve. Alright, last thing I want you to do for tomorrow, I want you to solve this problem. So the problem I want you to do for tomorrow is 7/8 divided by 7/10. Do that for tomorrow, and goodbye.